All right, I haven't done a live in quite a while, and I just opened up my RANE 62. I haven't really been on my 62 and she's almost a year and a half, maybe 2 years. You know, since I got the Pioneer S9. So I decided to break out the 1200s, the Techs, and my RANE mixer. But, you know, I noticed that the RANE was, the faders were a little stiff. So if you look here, see how they're kind of slowly moving down. So there's a little bit of dust and dirt in there. So I'm going to clean this guy up. And I've done these tutorials before, but I haven't done a live video in a while, so I figure, what the heck, I might as well do this one and show you guys exactly what I do to clean out my RANE faders. And this is good for like the 62, the 57, you know, any of the RANE faders. So anyway, let's get to it. So you probably all know what this fader looks like. If you don't know, this is the crossfader inside the RANE mixer, my RANE 62. So this right here, this is the slider. Then you have your two bars. These are actually the little holders that kind of hold the bars in place. These are held in place with the circuit board underneath by these little Phillips screws. So to do this tool-wise, it's pretty simple. All you're going to need is a Phillips screwdriver, a toothbrush, some dish soap, and then some gun oil. This is what I've been using since way back in the day, since the early 2000s. Me and my buddy, DJ Mastermind, we kind of messed around with this stuff back in the day, and this is what we've been putting on our faders since way back. Back with the Vestex mixers, the 06 Pro, the Alps faders. You know, we would open up those faders, the PCV faders, and we'd lube up the bars and everything, and we found that the Outer's gun oil was the best stuff. I'm surprised I still have some left in this bottle. This is like the original stuff here, but the new bottles actually look like this now, and it's a little bit of a different look to it as well, as far as the gun oil itself. The gun oil in this older stuff was clear, as opposed to with the gun oil on this stuff now, it's a little more yellow based, but it still works as good. But anyway, that's the stuff that I've been using, we've been using. So let's get this going here, huh? Okay, so you have 4 screws down here at the bottom. You just need a Phillips screwdriver. You're going to take these out, and this is basically what's holding the circuit board to these little contacts on the side here that hold the bars in place. So let's take these out, kind of put them to the side, and this is how I clean all my faders, even my Pioneer, my DJM S9. I'm going to do a video on cleaning out that fader too, but man, that fader, I use that on the daily, and it's still super smooth. So anyway, once you get the screws out, you're just going to lift it up like so. Just be real gentle. Right here, as you can see on the sides, these are actually your sensors here. These are basically what sense the magnet on the slider here. When they go, you know, closer, it turns off, goes away, turns on. So those are the sensors there. So you want to be careful that you don't bend these too far in or too far out, because that'll mess up your cut-in time on your crossfader or volumes or whatever. So this looks like it's still pretty clean. If it does have a little bit of dust on it, you can clean it with your fingers, or if you don't really want to do that, you can actually get like a little Q-tip or whatnot. But anyway, you put that to the side. From there, basically what you're going to do is you're just going to pop one of these sides off. It's pretty simple. You're going to see you're going to have your little rubber washers here on the bar. And you just got to remember the rubber washers are going to go to the thicker side of the slider. The side with the actual stem on it, that's where these little rubber washers are going to go. So you're going to pull that one off. You're going to pull the slider out. Pretty simple. And then pull that bar out, pull that bar out. And both of these bars have the same width, so it doesn't matter which one you put them in. One's not thicker than the other. Anyway, so now that we have these apart, these we're actually going to take over to the sink, and we're going to take the toothbrush, soft bristle, and we're going to take the soap, and we're going to clean those up. So let's move over to that. See if I can get this to stay up. It's going to be kind of crazy here. Let's see. Can you see my hand? Can you see the... I guess you don't really need to see the sink. The faucet. Anyway, when you clean these off, make sure you put some type of a stopper or something down here just in case you drop one of the bars or one of the rubber washers so it doesn't go into the garbage disposal or anything like that. So anyway, we don't really need that. Yeah, that's all we really need. So anyway, we're going to take the bars here and we're going to actually take these bars and we're going to get some soap, and we're just going to put some soap on these bars real quick, and then we're going to clean the bars off, you know, get all that gunk and whatnot off of there. These ones weren't too bad, but like I said, I haven't used this mixer in quite a while, so a year and a half, maybe 2 years, so it was just time to clean these parts anyway. Anyway, we're just going to clean off the bars. And like I said, this is like the best way to actually clean your faders. You know, you can spray them and do all that stuff, but it really doesn't really clean, like deep clean and get all the gunk and stuff off of there. This is the best way that I found to clean the faders, you know, all the way, like I said, back from the old Best X days and whatnot. So now that we have that, we can actually take this guy, the slider, get our toothbrush, put a little bit of soap on the toothbrush here, so, and then we can actually just clean all of this, try to get in there as far as you can, clean all that stuff out. And I have another little trick that I'll show you to clean the actual inside of this, because even with the toothbrush you're still not going to get all of the dirt, especially if you haven't cleaned your faders in quite a while. You'll get some buildup and stuff inside here. But anyway, so that's pretty much that. That's done. These bars are done. So let's move this back to the paper towel. There I am. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to take this other paper towel and we're just going to dry off the bars, you know, get as much of the water off of them as possible, like so. Here's the other bar here. Anyway, let's dry that off. Now here's the slider. If you look here, this is the actual magnet, and this is the magnet that these little sensors here see to turn the signal on and off. So anyway, we're gonna dry this off as best we can. And right now, it's not super dirty, but there's a little tiny divot right where this little plastic washer is in here, if you look, there's like this little tiny space right here and right here that can get a lot of buildup and dirt and grime inside there. And you can't really reach it with a toothbrush or anything like that. So before I used to try to get like a Q-tip or something to get those, but even that didn't really get it as clean as it could. So what I started using, hopefully you can hear me because I'm in the other room now. I should have grabbed these beforehand. Sorry about that. But what I started using actually were these little super soft interdental picks. These actually work really, really well to clean out the dirt that gets stuck in those little gaps. So if you can see here, like I said, there's that little tiny gap right there, and you can get a lot of buildup in there. So these little dental picks have a little brush on them, and what you do is just move that in and out like that, and it'll actually clean all of that crap out of there. Beforehand, before I had these, I would still have like a little black strip of dirt that would stay in there, and I couldn't get them out. But anyway, I started to use these because my brother suggested these, and I was like, I don't know if they'll work, but man, they work flawlessly. So what the heck, I might as well use them anyway to clean that stuff out, and we'll see what happens if there's any dirt or anything that I didn't see. So yeah, I mean, whoops, let me see if I can focus on that. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there is some dirt on there and some buildup. So, you know, even though I couldn't see it, it still had some buildup in there. So, yeah, these little guys work really, really well. I think he got these at the dollar store somewhere, so like at a Family Dollar or something like that. But yeah, they're interdental picks, soft picks. Yeah, so these things work really, really well for that. Okay, so here's our rubber rings again. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put the bars back in here like so. If you get confused and you don't remember how these go on, all you have to do is look at the circuit board itself. And how do I get water on that? Anyway, it kind of shows you an outline. So this right here, this little outline here is your slider. These are the bars here. So if you look here, that would be the slider. So you won't get confused on where you need to put this and you know, how to put it back together. So anyway, we got the bar. We're going to put one of the rubber washers on, put the slider on, okay, put the other rubber washer on. Okay, now we can get the other bar, feed it through right here, push it down like that. Okay, so now those are back together, and we'll get the last little end piece here, and then we'll basically just put those back in and seat those right where they need to be. If you look here, you're going to see that this has 3 holes, and 1 hole and 1 hole. The 1 hole, that's the top. So that's basically the part that you're going to unscrew when you take this out of the mixer. Okay, so alright, so as you can see, even just with the cleaning, that's a lot smoother already. But we're not done yet, so let's put this back on. So like I said, you're just going to follow that little diagram there. Put this on here like this, kind of get those little sensors right in between these little, this little gap here, or these little arms. You're going to just kind of measure that up, flip it over, and you'll see your holes are lined up. We can screw this all back together now. And you know, you want to, when you tighten these up, you want to tighten them to make sure that they're snug, but you don't need to over tighten them, you know, because this is plastic, so, you know, you don't want to over tighten it, because you can actually crack the board or possibly crack the little holder on the side here, and, you know, those things are super hard to get a hold of now. I mean, maybe RANE will send some to you, but you know, try to avoid it as much as possible. Okay, so there's that, that, and that. These ones are nice and tight. Okay, so lastly, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna put some gun oil on the bars here. Okay, I'm just gonna run a little bit on this bar and this bar, and you'll see how much smoother this will be after we put that on. So what I do is it's a pump spray, but I don't use the pump. You know, what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of gun oil on the straw, and then I'll just run the straw over the bar. So anyway, here we go. Get a little bit of that, and then run it over the bar, one side, bar, two, dip again. Okay, inside there, one side, two side, there we go. There we go, and that's what you want right there. Look at that. Nice and smooth. And the nice thing about this stuff is the more you use it, the more you work it in to the metal and to the plastic. And once you start heating it up a little bit, you know, it starts to get smoother. And, you know, I mean, it is gun oil. So this gun oil will keep everything nice and clean, nice and smooth. But, yeah, that's basically how I clean my faders, as far as all of my faders, from like my old Vestex mixers all the way up to my my DJM S9, my Pioneer mixer, all that stuff. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna do a cleaning tutorial on those faders as well. But as for now, that's it. I'm gonna clean up the rest of these the two line volumes. Then I'm gonna get this mixer all back together. But hopefully you guys find that video helpful. And like I said, I haven't done a live video in quite a while, so I figure, what the heck, I might as well do one now, since I'm doing some maintenance stuff. And you know, I know some of you guys like to geek out on that stuff like I do. So anyway, I'm gonna end the video now, and you know, go back, review it if you missed it, and you know, that'll basically show you how I clean my faders and get them all nice and smooth. So anyway, I'm gonna kill it from there. So peace. Oh yeah, y'all have a good holiday, because it is gonna be Christmas soon. So anyway, have a good holiday. I hope you have a good New Year. And yeah, 2018 is upon us. So anyway, once again, have a good night.